Good morning, everyone. Hope you're well rested from the extra day. And not much has changed over this weekend. Everybody is still waiting for some additional clarification on these tariffs and what's going to happen. And this pattern, which I'm saying cannot continue much longer, is this, let's hope not, indecision about this flip-flopping back and forth after we got that big wide range bar. I mean, this pattern is like almost everywhere. Which is unusual to have similar patterns across so many different markets and stocks, but markets changed. And so we went from a pattern of a wide range bar, and it was much clearer before it started turning over. But point being, it went up, and a lot of patterns were forming. This one not so clear, but more of a rounding kind of a bottom, and it looked like, okay, maybe we can go up and test the 50 or some other pivot higher. And, over the last several few days, it has taken this little turn to the downside, but has not violated support in a significant way yet. I'm hoping it does, um, and goes down there and tests those lows, and we get a little bit of a washout and a reversal, which would be great. And then, of course, the reversal being the key word to see if it should go down there. Do we get a reversal, which would be great, as at least a short or possibly intermediate term setup that would be much more reliable for some directional trades. The put spreads will be a no-brainer if we get a reversal down there. Um, so we'll just have to see how it unfolds. This morning things are down a bit, not violating this support level in any significant way, but that might be where it's going. We're just going to have to see how it unfolds. And again, similar patterns. The S&Ps are down a little bit. You can see it's sitting on this support level, these pivots that are there. And you, know, you can see more of the rounding kind of a top formation. This is how this was bottoming here. Of course you do. And these bottoming tail bars, and it came up to the resistance level, and it was going sideways. It's bullish price action there, and it's like, okay, can it break out above these highs and move up? And it couldn't, and now we'll see if it breaks down. As we go to other markets, it's similar, a little tighter on here. Guys, give me 1 second. Okay, so you know, going to be repetitive, but we're waiting to see if things break lower. And it seems that everyone is just waiting for the news. Which way are we going here? Ideally, it goes down and tests the lows and get a reversal. That would be the ideal scenario. And the Dow here is a little bit more decisive, actually, much more so, as far as breaking some support and inching lower. You got a pivot low down there, but with this rounding top, it's less likely that one low holds, but we shall see. Uh, so this is much more decisive as far as moving down and starting. I'm looking at the 5 minute bounce. Yeah, yeah, we can see that, the relative strength on the small caps here, that is just so much tighter in these bars going sideways. And so while that is a undeniable positive, it could turn out to be an undeniable negative if it doesn't break out. So, meaning if it breaks down below here, this tighter consolidation, uh, just will drive it down versus the ones that are already moving down. Having to deal something here with Zoom. Sorry for stopping. So something that shows relative strength by definition suggests it should follow in the direction of that strength. And the problem that we have, us not per se, but let's say the market, is that showing some type of strength by going sideways after a wide range bar, that in of itself is a positive. But virtually everything is in a downtrend on the daily and weekly time frames. So while extended in the short term, and this little, shorter term positive going on here, it can't break out. And at some point, it has to go down. Second here. Second here. So it's going to be a wait and see. However, now Bitcoin's up nicely this morning, but that's going up into the top of the trading range. And it's just whipping around here. Interest rates, a little buy setup there. They're popped up, a little pressure on the market, in a bit of a trading range there. Transports, same pattern, but back and forth downtrend. At least this is on support. And I use that for the chart of the week. If you saw it, you can read it here if you haven't. Well, I haven't even looked at short-term rates. I mean, everyone's expecting some kind of cut. Well, the Fed guy says it's not. You know, it's not going to happen. I see them just sitting here. There's a lot of uncertainty everywhere. Here's the 5-year. You can see it whipping back and forth. Um, you listen to commentators on CNBC, money managers, analysts, this and that. Nobody knows what the frick is going on here other than what we already know. And everybody's waiting for some kind of clarity, or all these countries they say that he says they're negotiating, whoever's visited there. What is the outcome of this? What's China going to do? So we're all waiting. We're all waiting. And, semiconductors are moving down here this morning, NVIDIA, and there was news on that last week, but not violating support. We need to see prices ideally go down here, ideally break this low. Some news comes out and we get a reversal. That's the bottom line. Other than that, we're just sitting here doing intradays, things that possibly on their own page where there's some decent patterns out there yet. But, as far as follow through, we're just not seeing it all yet. Crude oil, coming up to resistance, bouncing up, a lot of talk about it, breaking below the support there and being under $60 and it's retraced. So it doesn't matter where you look other than gold, which is ripping higher again this morning. Looks like it definitely has to hit 3,500 and maybe 4,000, but that's the one bull market and it's getting vertical here, increasing the odds of a pullback. And, silver. Looks like last week I had mentioned about possibly a continuation pattern. And we'll see where this ends the day, but that could be it, where it plays as catch up. And notice the little rounding bottom here. So, Yeah, that's about it. Dan, I'm going to hand it over to you early because really there's just nothing going on again. And we're waiting to see which way this is going to resolve itself. You know, the dollar is moving down. This is the euro, but you can see the euro is now spiking higher. So the dollar is breaking lower. And we're just going to have to see what happens. And so when it happens, it's probably going to be fast and furious. So don't become complacent here, because when things aren't moving, that tends to be what happens. So don't get caught off guard. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, I kind of had a bias. Last week's high, bullish. Last week's low, bearish. But we have more longs than shorts in the letters because, I mean, the shorts were not great reward to risk targets. So we'll trade anything. And let's go through my alarms that are going off. Alex gave me a couple things to look at, a couple earnings. Bangs. Other than Netflix, all the other ones are in pain. Uh, so yeah, Bidu here is one of these Bitcoin things. Um, yeah, with Bitcoin up, those stocks are up. We'll look at them all here in a second. But Netflix had earnings last Thursday, which kind of strange ahead of the holiday. But remember, um, Friday holiday. So this green bar was Tuesday. And I was bullish as can be on this thing, and I was going to give it, but for earnings. And I remember looking at selling naked puts. I think it was like the 670s, something like that. Crazy. Was over $1. But it just would be a big margin hog. I think one contract was, my recollection was almost $7,000, but would have paid off. And it's on my put spread list for today. Um, and look at alarms here. Mr. So in the weekend letter, say the majority of the bounces did not take out this, what was this, April 9th day? I remember it was a Wednesday. It was after MT Live. I remember it, where Trump, paused the tariffs. And so, that's a key day. And notice how this one closed above it and went sideways. So that was a put spread idea. And I had coin, both of these, same sector. Bottoming pattern, the entry was over last week's high, which hasn't triggered yet, but bottoming pattern. Now, it's not a great long, it's a bottoming pattern, a great put spread idea. Let's see, I just had EHC alarm go off. What a mess. I had this one on my list last week over the high of this bar. Um, it's actually a sloppy 1, 2, 3. You got this igniting breakout. There's your inside bar, a bunch of more inside bars. So I'll keep an eye on that, maybe 30-minute high. But it'd be a better put spread just because of those like just crazy overlapping bars. The UMG. Yeah, down, but it's just power down with no reversal. All right, back to alarms. Dollar Tree. I scanned all the XLP stocks over the weekend. 100% retracement here, bull 180. But it's the risk to reward is horrible for a new swing trade. But that's where I found Dollar Tree. Igniting, that's a put spread or naked put, whatever I have in the weekend letter. Dollar General, same. Or this one, I think I gave directional by half lot over the high. Y half. Oh, it's a beautiful breakout bar, but look at all this mess over here. But you got rising 20, rising 50, weekly uptrend. So it's one of the stronger things out there. Cream alarm. This was a call spread idea. That's that the alarm's going off, so that one's good to go if it triggers. We have a couple put spreads in oil, like I said, an XLE alarm go off. But there, we took some profits on Thursday, and I moved stop break even on them. So XLE is one of them. Gapping down here near Thursday's low. So we'll just let those play out. If they stop, it should be at a profit. And then a Curdo. All right, so see this was a directionless short. So green bar ignored. Notice how last Wednesday and Thursday is at the bottom of that April 9th bullish reversal. So that one was relative weakness. And so there's so many patterns like this that we're using the consolidation to determine if it's bullish or bearish and which way to trade, but we need a price void. But that's a directional. Let me put that in a window. Because that was a directional. I don't want the gap to mess us up. It looks like it's gapping down $1. SMH. Yeah, it's a day trade. I'm not sure about swing, but look here, this obviously is pre-market. So it's gapping down under Thursday or Wednesday rather. Or under Wednesday's low. It's just not a great void, but yeah. Start off with a day trade, see how the day goes. For a day trade though, your stop has to be over Thursday's little shelf, unless you wait 30, 60 minutes and get a better intraday entry. Let me go to earnings here. There's not many, and then Alex, look at your list and then my list. BOH 60. That's a regional bank. Gap up, but it's up 5 bars. No trade. CMA. It shows it's flat. No pattern. Show on YouTube. Let's see what he has for us. He says Carvana and Car similar with Dollar Tree. Carvana, I do have an alarm. I do kind of an inverse head and shoulder. We talked about this on Thursday. I got to keep saying whenever there's a holiday, I got to concentrate on what day it was. Yeah, so I during scanning, I have an alarm. It's gapping down. Let me go ahead and put it on my big computer. Alarm 214. But notice how Dollar Tree and Dollar General are better. Show. Why are they better? Simple. The daily bar is a closing breakout over resistance. See, that closed out. Dollar Tree closed out. This one ideally will give us a 1, 2, 3, but look at the weekly, monthly also. That's a beautiful bottom on the weekly. And you said Car. Yeah, I actually shorted naked puts on this on Wednesday myself, and then I mentioned it Thursday morning at the pre-market, and I said I love the pattern, and it was extended it was extended on the 15-minute charge from the run on Wednesday. And it just it gapped, and we call it a gap and go. So I did not chase it, but yeah, that was a good trade. I'm only guessing that it was moving with Hertz. Hertz, we had a beautiful naked put trade on the gap up, and it happened right on Wednesday when we did the MT live on Trading the News, and that's how we found this thing. It was in the news of Ackman, buying a big old stake in it, and then it ripped even more when they found out he took a bigger stake than originally. All right, back to earnings. Delta X-ray 1140. Day trade, day trade short, 5-minute low, stop over closing pivot. Amazon, it's not earnings. I think they just got a downgrade is all. Again, I mean, it looked lower. See all these consolidation bars, and again, this one near the low of that, and it has a void down to here. So that's a day trade short idea. We have two FANGs reporting this week, Tesla and I forget the other one. I don't know what happened to this on Thursday. It says earnings on May 6th, but that is an igniting gap. It got a downgrade today is why I'm looking at it. Ideally, it would be a 1, 2, 3. It's gapping at Thursday's low, but maybe 30-minute low. I don't like swinging things this far from the 20, but if it can't bounce, then 30-minute low. INDB, I think had earnings, but there's no price for it. Got all these tails here on Netflix earnings. So I like this one a lot for a put spread. It's one of my favorites right now, other than the things in the letter, like that Mr. and Coin. So let me get these quotes ready for the open. So I'd be looking at, under those 3 bars. So 950 or lower. Well, it'll be interesting to see the vol contraction, but the 950s closed at $31 on Thursday. All right, Nvidia, I think, has more tariff, news, which it's fundamentally it's serious. It's affecting your freaking revenue, what you're in the business to do. So gapping at this prior low. I looked at this as a call spread idea, but there's no premium. But 30-minute low idea. Disney got an upgrade. Put spread watch, 30-minute high, TEM, I think. I forget if it's earnings. No, that's just a downgrade. Yes, this bullish 180 here, so it doesn't have a good void. But in a downtrend, if it can't bounce, 30-minute low maybe. KWeb, so this is China. The Journal had an article saying, Trump's now exploring delisting some Chinese stocks. So, there's always extra news on China stocks. DFS, somebody said they are getting bought out. Bidu, I mentioned, let's look at all these all the Bitcoin stats. This is Ether, but that looks a lot worse. All right, Alex. Let's see what you got. That's a small list for you, Alex. So Alex usually sends these to me over the weekend, but I guess he was busy searching for Easter eggs. All right, AES. I'm sure he's thinking about a descending triangle short. But you got this prior low on the weekly. So actually over the week's high, over last week's high, which is Tuesday's high, would be a short-term bottom. Bravo Echo. I don't see any void there. I don't like that one. Corn. It's a continuation pattern. All right, so he has the same DG and Dollar Tree that I had. Those are in the letter. We talked about them. HII is a continuation pattern with a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly. And wow, see how my eye is always looking at all three time frames? Beautiful downside shakeout on the monthly chart. So this is very strong. Had a big move, relative strength, consolidating at the 200. So it has a lot going for it. But I would want the broader markets at least stabilized or rallying before I considered something like that. But I'm going to set an alarm at 221. Shipbuilder, cool. Hey Patrick, did you used to play that game when you were a kid called Battleship? Is that the ships that this company makes? Battleship, or was that Mattel? I get them mixed up. Macy's, I just don't like that pattern, but it'd be a day trade short under Thursday. RSI. Yeah, that one I like. That one I like. It's a bottoming pattern. It took out the March or April 9th, going sideways, and it has a big old void and a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly. So that one, yeah, had you shared your list with me, I would have put that in the letter. So I'm gonna set an alarm 1185. So that I will monitor, and that's a tier 1 for me. Earnings 4:30, so we got plenty of time. All right, what did I say? 11. On to 1184. TMDX, that's in our weekend letter too. No, it's not. We had TMDX over here. All right, so my bad. We gave this on this 1, 2, 3 right here, and we had a nice little 3-day pop. But yeah, your Alex is looking at as a continuation pattern similar to the to that one. All right, Bravo Juliet alarm. It's a buy setup. Look at all three. All three moving averages are up. How many stocks can you say that about right now? So Bravo Juliet, I like. And then Alex had one more on his list. YOU. It's a sloppy buy setup, but I'll put it on the list. What country is that? If it is China, we're just gonna be aware of it. I'll set an alarm 2695 for now. All right, let's look at some things. All right, Netflix bottom right. Oh, that looks like a directional. I just hate trading earnings stocks in the first 5 minutes. That looks like it can go to 1040. That looks fantastic. All right, my 950s, okay, are still 7. They're still juicy, almost $8. All right, the 20 MA is 940. Man, these are still juicy. Let's go to 930. And then do $10 wide is 90 cents. Let's do that. That is very, I'm gonna consider going naked here myself. Let me get this posted first. Yeah. Actually, I'll do this one too instead of naked. That's good premium here. All right, not filled. So we need a tiny little pullback here, which should get filled any second. All right, it says midpoint 112. 105 is 112. It's some of my oil alarms going off. Oh, I don't like that. CVX. All right, so I had tightened stops on these CVX, Oxy, but we're out of half on Friday. Those, we were doing good put spreads. All right, here HII, my 211 alarm went off. So this would be a great maybe 30-minute high. Let it just bobble around. Put that in the window. There's this Curto. Curto. All right, let's wait for a bounce into the gap fill area. Bid two. Bidu gap breakout. This 30-minute high idea, but it's ton of resistance. This is ultra short. Oh, ultra no, ultra not short, just ultra Bitcoin. Never mind. Netflix. Yeah, I didn't type it because I gave them the chart in the Telegram, and I told them pre-market. Right. Tesla. This could end up being a continuation pattern lower, but it's down too much on major support. So I would not short it, and it has earnings tomorrow. So yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that. All right, Stone up alarm. This one's been one of ours, nice relative strength. We've been in this for a while. Set new alarms, 12:30. Low alarm, 11:95. Nice slow Finally, I got filled on that Netflix 110. That's more than 50% retracement. So that's making it a little iffy, particularly since the markets are not holding that initial surge. But it's a trade far away. I'm in it. Mr. Yeah, yeah. So let's check on these put spreads now. Yeah, let's see if they're getting filled. Check Q's bar 285. It's 44. Okay, so we're almost there. We need another 7 cents. So I will just leave it, tell them it's a go. Um, we also have cream gapped under entry. So coin did not trigger yet. IoT is a put spread over the highs. Pelletier I have as a put spread over the high. Costco put spread over Thursday. So, these were patterns. So I knew even if the market sold off, then they shouldn't trigger. Let's check these oils. No. Yeah, it'd be a better put spread. I mean, this is power. I think I did check. Check the 152s. It was either spready or not enough juice. That's my recollection. 152. Yeah, 37 by 52. Yeah, we're not going to get a good midpoint. Stone up alarm again. Nice little stoner. Hey Sam, how old were you when you became a stoner? Do you like how Alex you ask questions that presume, that he's guilty? It's not like, hey Sam, do you smoke pot? No, how old were you when you became a stoner? Right? Like, how often do you beat your wife? I know, Robert, slow start. It only took 10 minutes though. And that's because I'm not as busy as a usual Monday. Usually I wait an hour because I'm slam busy. But not too busy today. There was a guy in high school named Dave Stone, and he was a stoner, so that's the name we gave him. CVX stop was 1 Oh, no, it was an early alarm. We're not out yet. Stop was 133. No, I guess unless we hit break even. Oh no, my notes don't show break even. All right, let me just set a new alarm. 132.98. So we're still on that one. The oxycodone 3885, which is right here, 3734. And so we're stopping out of the back half at a profit, which is right here, and midpoint is 26. So oxycodone out at 26. And we closed half at 13 on Thursday. So I'll make it 27, I'll make it even 27, 30, 40. So we're out at 20. Oxycodone is gone. No, I do not. All he told me was Happy Easter and Telegram. Our XLE, our stop was 81, so it gapped under it. So we had it was still 77.74, so it's still far away. XLE, let me see what it's at now. 77, 74 is 32. XLE, and it's 37. Let's close it right now at a small gain. I know we closed half on Friday or Thursday. Cool. So let's get out of the back half. Okay, cool. We have a nice gain on this too. Despite them going against us, we're managing them well. $32 and 18 is 50 is 25. So gain there. And then XOM. Yeah, Q's grinding lower here. Netflix is the only good looking thing. Nvidia at the low. Mac That could be a day trade short. Stop actually over pre-market high. See this tail, which stop over 100 spot 50, which is still a $3 stop. Uh, Visa, yeah, more of a day trade to me. I don't like these overlapping bars of strength. That would also be a good call spread. Let me check the 340s. $48 by 56, so we're not going to get a good midpoint. Matter XLM 102.98. So, 102.98. Midpoint is 50 cents. Stop. That's Sam's favorite band. 50 cents. Um, okay, so we're out of this one, break even. I will take it. Let's go. Netflix. Let me. No. So Don, that pullback on Netflix was perfect to get us filled at $1.10. See, right? I got filled a tad under 50% retracement. Perfect. Let me post that. I mean, so far, you can't pat yourself on the back until the fat lady sings. What does that mean, by the way, Don? Who is this fat lady, and what song does she sing, by the way? And why do they have to call her fat lady? Why don't they just say singing lady? Don't you ever ask yourself questions like this, Don? Who is this fat lady? Sporting event? Right. They call her Boxum. Is that politically correct? A Boxum soprano? Nine 30. Uh, Last week's low. How about under 949? How about the 20 of May, 9:39:58. Grammy, what? Just posting this first. BS. That reminds me of like a loan. Didn't we get an SBS loan when we went to college? Bruce. Thousand. There, I got that posted. SBS. Uh, it's at that prior high, but I think it will go through it. It's up 3 bars though at resistance. I think I would wait, Grammy, particularly with the market weak. I would wait until at least the afternoon to make sure this 15-minute pivot will hold. And then I'll have more confidence. Okay. Yeah, because market's heavy here, so I'm careful on longs. Let me check our longs and the advisory letter now. We actually gave this one, Greg gave me this over the weekend. Breakout, daily, weekly, monthly buy setup. Nice bottoming pattern. So let me post this. We did a half lot. And that's the only long so far today. Alta up alarm. I don't remember him. Let's see. But I think I had it as a put spread idea. But that's slow. Shoot, I gotta reboot over lunch. Darn it. It's 17. EGTX. Uh, yeah, yeah, I like the daily. Kind of an inverse head and shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline. Yeah, I like it. I'd like it better without that tail, but I think I'll go through it. Alarm stop 7874. There, Algin still holding like a tank. Now I'm going to move it to break even. Oh no, I actually did on the weekend letter. All right, cool. So, this thing's relative strength. We've been in it for a week. I think since last Monday we've been in this thing, or Tuesday, whatever. Um, yeah, yeah, we got a break even stuff, so this seems fine. CELH. All right, this is the one we were talking about, the 3-bar rule last week. And now, if it closes like this, now I don't like it because then it would be a closing breakdown. So he's on definite probation right now. Whereas I was okay with it on Thursday. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, cap, green bar negate. Yeah, yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it, Thomas. You got a void. I like it. Swing trade stop Thursday's high. And let me check puts too. I mean, I'm sorry, call spread. Avgo would be the 177.50s. 91. All right, this might work. Let me check the midpoint. 182.51. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Yeah, I'm just doing a call spread. But yeah, I will. Hold on. No. Um, yeah. Yeah. No, I remember. Wait, that's still the I yeah, I just think your target is the bottom of this, but yeah, it's a decisive break from 8 inside bars. So sure, I think I said, day trade. All right. And spiders target. I think this bottoming tail, but yeah, that's fine too. Day trade. Workday. Yeah, that was a nice tight 15-minute chart. End of day base. Jets. Again, day trade, but you just got to be a little, the target. I'm concerned on these swings, but yeah, all these that you all are showing me are, yeah, that could have been a 5-minute low, short day trade. Absolutely, Thomas. Bitter. Good animal. Grammy, excellent question. Um, a quick and dirty answer is if it's a swing trade, go a week out and a delta of around 75 or 80. So that's just a nice general rule, but I can't teach it a whole course in 5 minutes. It depends on your bias and what the extrinsic value is, and if how bullish do you want to do just a long call or a bull call debit spread. All right, let me look at these other. Oh, Dollar Tree. Okay, this one was shorting the $74 puts. Um, but we needed price improvements. 74 is 41, and I wanted 95. So that did not get filled. Trump hasn't triggered. It's over the closing price. Herdo, I said short a bounce into the gap area. That's gonna be a little harder to record. Herdo. Tech is the bottoming pattern. It's over last week's high. IoT. Let's cancel that one. But I'll keep my alarm. Yeah, I canceled my ice also on my other computer. Yep, SIBO. Yeah, set an alarm for 219.50. Yeah, I looked at that for a put spread, but there was no juice. I mean, it's actually a pattern. It can trade either direction. But I kind of like the bullish case more because it's not going to trigger unless it's strong. XME. All right, that triggered. 53.93. Over those highs, it's still fine. Bravo Golf. Let's hold up on this one. I'll keep my alarm. Just, set that prior high. EG, set by a half lot, and that looks great. 93.28. That's the second directional long of the day, which for Monday morning is pretty darn light. ST3 is good to go. It triggered half lot over. That's nice. Let me poke XME. So far today, 5 15-minute charts is that garden hose example that I always use. So it's just steady selling, cracking that pre-market consolidation, steady selling. And there's a void on the hourly still. And our Dollar General is ripping. Wow. I think this stuff break even already. Morning. Um, Day trade, again, same comment. There's going to be that's a potent reversal there, but it's breaking down from 7 bars, so it's fine. You know, just start off day trade and take it from there.